I always do posts like in the mornings, like at 8. So
Good.
I'm just
Good.
muting my phone.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Military Mondays. I am Brenda Sanchez, and I am a retired Air Force major, and I bring you these Military Mondays, of course, every Monday morning, as it would be obvious, I guess is the right word, obvious, at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And I like to interview veteran business owners or veterans or even military folks that are currently serving and have started something on the side, or their spouses or their children, because I want you to get to know my military community, how you can help them, how they are helping the local community here in Colorado Springs. And actually, I've been interviewing some folks across the US, because now that we are doing these via Zoom format and broadcasting to Facebook Live, I can interview anybody anywhere. So I know that the person I'm interviewing today, Justin Clark, has a huge network of veterans across the US. He is the founder of Veterans Referring Veterans. He is also a real estate agent here in Colorado Springs. And I met Justin through Military Resourceful Entrepreneurs. It's a networking group that I run here in Colorado Springs. And I just wanted to bring him on and have him share a little bit about his background in the military, what he did, and then get around to what is Veterans Referring Veterans, and what is that all about, and how is it helping the community? Because there are many people out there that want to support veterans. Maybe they aren't a veteran, but they want to support veterans. And so I'm honored to have Justin here with me this morning. So welcome, Justin. Thanks for joining.
Right on. Thank you, Brenda. I really, really appreciate that. That means a lot. So thank you. And thanks for inviting me to be on your show.
Yeah, no worries. So let's start with where this all started, because obviously you're a veteran and you served in the Air Force. And we were talking a little bit before the show started of all the cool stuff you did, but share with the audience what it is that you did in the Air Force.
So the Air Force, it was kind of crazy because I was born in Denver, grew up here in Colorado Springs. So we're obviously right around the Air Force Academy and all the other military installations here. And I always thought the Air Force was like everybody wearing their blues all the time, having office jobs. And I had no idea about, I say, quote, like the real Air Force out there. So it was between the Air Force and the Army. I won't get into that whole story, but anyways, went to the recruiters like, yeah, you could work on F-16s. I was like, really? And anyways, they talked me into doing that. And so I was a F-16 mechanic. It's called the F-16 crew chief. So I did pretty much the people you see on the videos, marshaling the aircraft, changing tires, changing engines, changing everything on it, just general upkeep, maintenance of the F-16. So did that for about just over 16 years. And I ended up getting med retired, had some injuries that had happened downrange, and had some health issues that was with the burn pits and all that happened. But yeah, so my career ended up getting cut short, which was very unfortunate. And yeah, and so then had the whole transition out, but absolutely loved my time in the military. Obviously the camaraderie was the biggest thing that I missed, and that's why, we can get into that with the VRV later. But the people you meet from all over the world that are all together serving one mission, it was absolutely incredible to have such an instant family so large so quickly. When I joined, it was one of those things that I didn't really think about, and it was really cool. So been all over the world, I don't know how many times, and it's great. I really wouldn't, well, there's one thing I'd take back, but there's really nothing else I'd take back.
So did you go right from the service into real estate or owning your own business, or did you have a traditional job or that?
So it happened with me. So I'm 100% with the VA, but I'm able to work, so I'm employable, which is good. With, like I said, I had some injuries in Iraq. I ended up losing my fingers on my birthday back in 2004, and so there was a lot of other stuff that had happened too, with deployments, all that. But anyways, I found that fishing was my therapy. So it was absolutely incredible because I had to go through the therapist things and this and that, the mandatory crap, and it just wasn't working. I was like, whatever, this is stuff I'm going to deal with. Went out fishing one day and I was like, holy crap, it was just like, that was it for me. So when I got back, with being 100%, which it pays decent, but it'll pay the bills, but I want to eat a little bit more than just top ramen noodles. So I went to work at a local retail store here that's centered around fishing. Never worked retail before in my life. And it was good, a lot of good people, but it just really wasn't me. The pay was not there, and I found that I could go back to school, use my GI Bill, and make $400 more a month than being a lead at this store because I got promoted really quick and it was really nice. But I'm not mentioning the store, by the way. But anyway, so I went back to school. At the time, my father, here in Colorado Springs, he's a really successful real estate agent. When I was going to school, I was kind of shadowing him, doing the real estate stuff. And it was fun because before I left the military, I ended up being one of the first 50 airmen to go through. I had to go with the Army over to Jersey to be part of the resiliency course, so I could be a resiliency instructor, just because of all this stuff that I went through with the military. And then because like I was a single dad, like I had my kids full time. That's a whole nother story in itself. But because everybody was always asking me, like, how are you always laughing? How are you always smiling? I always finding good in absolutely everything. So I was like, they said I was a good fit for the whole resiliency thing, did that. But that kind of helped out when I got out, where in the real estate world is just all about helping people once again, and putting some smiles on their faces and just helping them, in a different form, with any sort of real estate transactions. And I liked it because it was an absolute blast going out with them. So I ended up, I was still continuing school and going to get my realtor license, and I used Voc Rehab for that. So if people aren't familiar with vocational rehab, that's an extremely good program that's available for military, for veterans. But then I ended up using that and got my real estate license. My real estate took off like first year like crazy. So it was really good. We were not expecting that, and it was hard to balance real estate with school. So I ended up just, all right, we're going full bore with real estate. So it was great. And the school was awesome too, because I met a lot of other veterans that were, obviously becoming entrepreneurs, that were wanting to start their businesses. So they helped out daily with moonlight cleaning. And we could talk about him more at the VRV, but he's really one of the reasons why I started the whole VRV. He does the carpet cleaning. And with my real estate, as you know, Brenda, any referral that you're putting out there, whether it's good or bad, it's coming back to you either way.
Yep.
So I found myself only using, veteran-owned businesses for all my clients, and they were all so grateful and satisfied because the veterans are showing up on time. They're putting their heart and soul into everything, and they're treating my clients like actual people, not a paycheck. So that's kind of where the VRV first started. But yeah, the real estate was really fun, really fun. So I love it, still do.
So let's talk a little bit more about veterans referring veterans, because you said you pretty much exclusively use veterans, and there's a reason for that. You said they show up in time in that. But what are the skills that you think you learned in the service and that other service members learn that make them a great fit to be either an entrepreneur or a great employee? If somebody is looking to hire, why hire a veteran? Why should a veteran be an entrepreneur? What makes veterans better suited than maybe their civilian counterparts?
Yeah. No, that's great. Now I'll just throw this out there. I'd say 97% of veterans are
Yeah.
the way I'm talking about. There's some bad apples out there. So, we run
Well,
into a few.
and
So,
and I want to put a disclaimer out there. 97% of veterans are like this, and there is a whole bunch of civilians like this too. So I'm not
right.
bashing civilians. There are a lot of great civilians out there that are in civilian jobs that do a great job. It's just a culture that we've learned in the service that I want to have Justin talk about that tends to create a better entrepreneur or a better employee.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not knocking anybody by any means or do anything. Cause obviously I've got tons of civilian friends and they all do awesome work too, but there's a different bond that happened in the military where, I even those that didn't even go down range or see combat or anything, we still have a bond with all that. And obviously the ones that, I did go to combat with and all that, it's even, I can't even explain it. But the trust and let me see here. So from what the military instilled, obviously, like the core values, the integrity first, service before self, all that stuff. And that goes across like all the branches. It really gets embedded into you. And because with the military, they break you down and then they build you up going through, from boot camp, going through the thing. And so you've got all of this confidence in you. But there is, man, I'm trying to think because I got a million and one things going through my mind right now. But basically what I found when I was out, like I said before, like my veterans were like, because time is so important to me. And these veterans would be showing up on time, didn't matter what they were always on time. And I mean, not on time, like 7:00, they're there 10 minutes early. They're talking to my other clients and they're not just like, oh my gosh, this is a job I have to do and da da da. No, they're excited, they're motivated, they truly want to help people out. It's like they have their purpose and their mission, and that goes into the whole thing with the mental health and the veteran suicide stuff. But they have this purpose and this focus to help these people out and accomplish what they set out to do. And they're every single one, seriously, like when I talk about treating them, my clients like people, it's across the board with them. They are so helpful with these people. Just like it's like instant, like in my clients too. They're like, they know when I'm bringing somebody to them that they're gonna be just like me. Because like the way you and me are talking is the way I talk to, say if I got a buyer for like 100,000 or I've got my high-end client for like 15 million, I treat them the exact same way. And that comes across the board with all my veterans where they don't care what's in your pocket, but obviously they want a good job, but they're going to treat you the absolute same. And I've noticed that it's so much different from with civilian ones. They kind of get like super nervous and this and that, almost question themselves a bit, but there's a lot of confidence within the veteran businesses, everyone that I've dealt with. And I don't know. It's like, seriously, I'm talking, my mind's just going with a million and one things on how to answer that properly. But
so Veterans Referring Veterans was founded when?
So we launched this September of 2018. So we're just over a year and a half old.
Awesome. You have a huge network. How many people are in the network now?
So businesses that are listed on the website, I think we just hit 250. But as far as my network and like the network it itself, I don't even know if I could put a number on it right now. Through all of our different social media chains and this and that, it's monstrous, absolutely monstrous. But yeah, that all started, here in Colorado with my real estate, and that's where I keep my real estate and the VRV separate a bit. So when I was starting my real estate, I went through a course and they were, I won't get into that whole course, but basically I wasted $900 on this course. But one of the takeaways I did have on it was, you need to start up your own networking group. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool, but there's so many different networking groups that are out there already. What's going to be my poll? Like, I'm like, I don't really know. It wasn't really in me. My wife got kept pushing for stuff on it. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months later, all of a sudden I was sitting there, I was like, every time I was going out to different networking things, I wouldn't see the small veteran business owners that I was using with my real estate. I was like, hey, why aren't you guys going to this one? Why aren't you going to this one? They're like, we're working. We don't have the time. We don't have the time to be in the mornings or the afternoons or whatever, because they're always busting their butts. So I was like, all right, well, let's bring it online then. Maybe we'll create a Facebook group, because my whole thing was having, and this is supposed originally, it was just here in Colorado Springs, where a bunch of us veteran business owners were coming together and helping each other out with our little secrets, or if we've got something coming up, we could tell each other, and then, you know, just help boost each other's businesses. So that idea, and with the VRV, with Veterans Referring Veterans, hit me like literally just one night. I started looking stuff up. I didn't see any other names, because obviously I was like, I got to be original with this stuff. I don't want to use something that's already out there. There was nothing. I didn't see anything whatsoever. So I was like, all right, we'll do a Facebook group, and then we'll do, excuse me real quick. We were going to do, I was going to create the Facebook group, and I called my buddy Mike with Halo Designs, and he designed my real estate cards. And I know you had said, I don't know if he tagged me on the thing, but if you look on my real estate page, there's 4 bars going up. It says raising the bar in real estate. Well, that's from that's my fingers. So that's my joke with my fingers there, the raising the bar. But he goes, yeah, man, I'll create you a logo and this and that. And he's like, why don't you make this open? Because like I said, it was going to be closed before. So he's like, why don't you make this open to like everybody, so people know where to go and find veteran businesses? I'm like, dude, that's a good idea. And literally within a week, him bringing that idea to me ended up turning into doing the website, where it was like, so basically at the core, Veterans Referring Veterans is like Angie's List, but for veteran-owned businesses and nonprofits. So it's free for the consumers to go and use. So veteransreferringveterans.com. You can go search these veteran businesses out. All the listings on there, I didn't want it like a regular directory. Well, there's a couple things. I didn't want to like a Yellow Pages directory where it's just their name, number, and then that's it. There's no other information. And at the same time, I didn't want people jumping through like 1,000,001 hoops to try to find these different veteran businesses. So I just wanted it as clean as possible. No ads, no extra crap on there trying to deter them. And then these listings that are on there, they add their own pictures, description, bio, direct contact information. I wanted the consumers to get a little bit better feel for the businesses that they're using, especially if they're inviting somebody into their home, to see, like maybe they just want to use a Marine that's a carpet cleaner or a laser engraver or something like that, and they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to use him. Just trying to be a little bit more personal with it, because I think on this whole social media world, there's a lot of different personas that get played out, whatever social media platform you're on. And I think a lot of people kind of get lost, I guess, if that makes sense, in the whole thing of trying to be whoever they are. I'm like, no, you need to relate. You need to relate to people. And so that's the way we went with that. So the website's at our core. And then we do socials, networking events at different veteran-owned businesses, to not only highlight them, but to bring the veteran community and the local community together. Because I found that a lot of veteran groups, organizations, stuff like that, and some of that's their purpose or whatever, is just strictly veterans, which is great. But with this, you got how many civilians are out there that want to support veterans, not only veterans, but small businesses as well. So that's why we just open it up to absolutely everybody. And it's been so cool, because we were doing a monthly here in the springs last year. And like last year, like I said, it was January. Well, yeah, we were just rolling through since January every month, like last year. At our 6-month mark, like my goal at my 6-month mark was to have a veteran business on the website outside of Colorado. And at that time, we were actually global. We have 2 in Germany. We got 1 in Hawaii, spread across all the states. We had our first social networking event down at Kehomack, which is in Utah, outside of Hill Air Force Base. absolutely amazing. It was a government contracted facility that's owned by a veteran. They restructure C5s, Apache helicopters, do all this crazy work, and they're given, our group down there. We had about 75 people to that one, and half of them got the address was wrong on Facebook, so got screwed up a little bit, but we had a great time. And then we've been in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Boston, Pennsylvania twice, Boston, North Carolina, Utah. We were supposed to be in Dallas, California, and then Arizona, but with all this stuff, it got all screwed up. So yeah, we do all those, and it's really cool because we don't, it's more on the social side of the house where it's just really laid back, and it's just all about everybody getting together and having a good time. So they've been extremely successful, and look to keep pushing those, in the future once we open up.
Awesome. And so you talked about the website, and I'll have you put it in the comments below. But how do people get a hold of you? How do they learn about veterans referring veterans?
Honestly, the website is where it's at, and you'll be like, there's not too much information on here. And that's because it's just black and white. It's literally everything I just said. There's no secret hidden tricks or whatever with it. We do charge, I'll put a link up in here real quick, but so like for us, we do charge $100 a year for these businesses to be on with us, and they get vetted. They go through ID.me, so everyone that's on the website is vetted as having served. But there's no referral fees, there's no auto renewal subscription stuff, and that's basically it. But no, if people want to reach out, they can. There's contact information on the website, veteransreferringveterans.com, Instagram, Veterans Referring Veterans, Facebook, Veterans Referring Veterans, Twitter, LinkedIn. I need to work on my LinkedIn a bit. Now we're on TikTok too, and holy crap, that TikTok is crazy. So,
TikTok, so.
It's weird, but this is my thing though. Is my goal is to get as much exposure to these businesses as possible, right? And we'll do. I didn't mention either. Like we do not only our socials, networking events, but then we'll be at, like I was at the Colorado Springs Oktoberfest. I was at a big giant car meet up in Denver. We'll go to all sorts of different areas and set up a booth, and where, like at the Oktoberfest, like Daily with Moonlight Cleaning, he wouldn't go pay $500 for a booth to be at an Oktoberfest for a cleaning service. It's just not, how much ROI is he going to get from that? But with me, with the VRV, I bring my big banners down, and people are like, what's that? What's Veterans Referring Veterans? And then like the one down here, we had about 12 of us down here just chilling at the booth, having a good time. And we had, Brenda, I'm not lying, like people that were down there can tell you, we had so many people at our booth just nonstop, because I display everybody's products that they've sent me some stuff, and we killed it. There was like the beer tent, obviously the beer line was super long, but then it was our tent that was just killing it. It was crushing it. So it was great. So it was pretty cool. So sorry, I got sidetracked a bit. But yeah, the whole TikTok thing. So check this out. I actually got one of her products right here. So there's Ashley with Beads and Brass. She makes bullet themed jewelry. She's out of Minnesota.
Those are.
I don't know if that's coming in all right.
Yeah, it is.
So I did a little post for her. It's a 7-second video. A 7-second video of me just showing like a pair of earrings, pair of bullets, and all of a sudden I should throw both of those two things up there. I'm gonna bring you this stat so you can see this stat. And I'm granted, I've only been on TikTok for 2 weeks now, and this post has brought her. It's been viewed 63,000 times. And remind you too, this is a 7.68 video. It's been viewed 138 hours and 8 minutes. It's absolutely insane.
Wow.
So I'm like, holy cow. She's made up to $1,000 on this one post on TikTok. So if I hate put myself out there. Like, honestly, like, I hate doing videos. I hate doing podcasts. We do all that stuff. I have to. But that's like been one of my fears like forever. So going in the TikTok world, put myself out there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. But it's what's getting these businesses different kind of exposure, because I do what's trending over there, because there's so many people over there. And then yeah, just bringing the VRV flair, I guess, over to it, and it's working. People are eating it up, so it's pretty fun. So
awesome. So sorry about that.
good.
So everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, a lot of people want to support veterans, so they can go over to Veterans Referring Veterans and learn about veteran-owned businesses. The other thing that could help you is go share Veterans Referring Veterans' Facebook page and LinkedIn and all the different social media to get the word out, because you may be a civilian, but you probably know a lot of veterans, or at least here in our town, there are a lot of veterans here in Colorado Springs because of all of the bases here. And so I'd really like to help get the word out about Veterans Referring Veterans and Justin. And so if you would be willing to, as you're watching this, just share this video and go like their pages and share them with your networks so that we can get the word out about it. And of course, if you are a veteran, please hook up with Justin and Veterans Referring Veterans, because they really can get you connected to a lot of people. What would
yeah,
be... Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, sorry, yeah, you hit it. I don't care if you're a veteran or not. Like, if you're a supporter of small businesses, you're just looking for some unique products, that's what we're here for. Obviously, Veterans Referring Veterans seems like it's solely just for veterans, but that's just us business owners helping each other out. But no, we really catering towards the small communities, and it's just bringing the businesses on the VRV more consumers, more exposure. So yeah, anything you want to do to share out, you find somebody that's on there, share out their post, do whatever with it. It's pretty good. We've been getting suppressed a lot lately here. I started experiencing this, I think, when we first hit like 3,000 followers on Instagram. They're really suppressing my stuff. Facebook side of the house, especially. I think maybe I'm at like 3,000 on Facebook, but Instagram's like about to 10K. But the whole shadow banning thing is ridiculous. And the thing is I told them, I've been back and forth with the Facebook people all the time. I'm like, I don't care what skin color you are, what religion you are, what you identify as. It does not matter to me whatsoever. It's just, I'm pushing out these products, and the VRV members don't care. They want to make their customers happy. So yeah, that's what we're all about.
So in parting, or to wrap this up, I would love to get your words of wisdom for any of the currently serving military, or maybe you just retired. Maybe you're 6 months out, maybe you're 3-4 years out from retiring, maybe you've already retired and you're back in the grind, you're back in a government contract job or that. What words of advice do you have for those people that are in transition, either coming up on retiring or have retired and now maybe they're lost, because there's a lot of them out there?
Yeah, no, I'd say, well, one thing before I get into that, we're going to be working with Fort Carson, and we were supposed to do a gig before this whole this whole coronavirus crap happened. But we're going to be doing, VRV is going to be helping out with, there's a transition program that's within, hold on. There's a transition program that's at Fort Carson that we're going to be involved with bringing some of the veteran business owners to help people out. But I think the biggest thing is to ask questions. Always raise your hand and reach out. There's so many times that I think that's one of the things that the military instills in us. We are like super focused on what we're doing, and we're always worried about helping each other out, what we could do for other people, but then it comes down to like, what am I doing for myself? And it takes, and I've seen this so many times where so many veterans, whether it be, with mental help or physical, getting another job, it's they don't ask for help until it's like too late. So they need to ask for help like super early, get involved with some awesome programs. I'll put you in touch with, I don't know, I got people for everything that would help you out with, I mean, literally everything. Then but yeah, like, because like our socials networking, we've had, um it's been fun because we've been getting active duty soldiers, active duty airmen, where they come down to our things and they can talk to these veteran business owners, where they're not somebody on the other side of the counter trying to sell them something. So they're honestly there trying to help them out, what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, and what they can do to benefit themselves in the future. So um, definitely reach out though. People that know me know that I answer my phone. One of my biggest things is communication. Actually, I was down at an MRE event, and I was down there and I got a message, and there was a guy that was, I'm not going to get emotional over this, but he was literally going to kill himself that night. And I had responded. He messaged me on Instagram, and I was seriously sitting there during lunch. Our food had just came out, and he had messaged me. And honestly, I forgot the details of the message, but I could tell something wasn't right. So I stepped outside, gave him a call, because I answered his message like within like 30 seconds. And we talked for like 2 hours. And he was a single dad. He had just lost his job. He had, some bad combat experiences, and he just couldn't handle it. And our stories were so similar, because he thought that he was by himself with everything. And I was like, no, dude. I was like, this is what I was doing. Da, 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 da. And it was very emotional. I mean, I even came home and I broke down. I broke down to my wife. But that next day, he texted me again. He's like, dude, I just appreciate everything you did. He's like, I was literally done that night. I was going to send my kid over to my parents' house to have a sleepover. And he's like, I was done. So it was crazy, but I got him hooked up with some amazing nonprofits that helped him out, not only mentally, but financially as well. And so it was really cool. But I don't know, I'm kind of bringing that up, but communication's huge to me. And I know a lot of people, I get it around here. They're like, I don't know, they see this stuff on social media thinking I'm by no means any big whatsoever, but it's just weird when they come up and talk to me or see me or whatever. I don't care. Like, I love absolutely everybody, and I'm a huge hugger too. So I love giving hugs. But I love talking to people.
I can attest to that. He is a hugger. But right now we'll have to do virtual hugs, right?
Yeah, no, but it's good though. Like, you got to have that communication. There's one thing I experienced when I got out. There was a lot of I guess there was a lot of veteran groups that were and like I said, not all of them, but there is a lot of like negative bias things that are going on, where it circulates around from, hey, what like, some veterans won't go out unless there's something in it for them. And there's a lot of the thank you for my service type veterans and stuff like that, which I get it. You guys do your thing. But my whole thing is, whatever happened, what's your next step? Like, what are you doing now in life to progress? What's your next mission? Because I think a lot of veterans lose focus on that. And that's what we're here for, is try to find their light once again, set them up with other entrepreneurs or businesses, and get them going.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much, Justin, for today. I totally agree with you. There are, whether you're here in Colorado Springs or in some other city, and you are getting ready to retire, or you're retired, there are lots of veteran networking groups out there. There are lots of veteran groups out there to help you to make that transition. The other one here in Colorado Springs is VetNet, which is Veterans Networking Group. It's a great place to just go meet people and interview people, find out about the career they're in, if it interests you. we can connect you with lots of people. Justin has a large network. I have a large network. Even if you're not here in Colorado Springs, Justin and I know people all across the U.S. And we'd be glad to connect you into our network. If we don't know somebody, I know somebody who knows somebody, and it's the same with Justin. So I thank you so much, Justin, for being on today. I really appreciate you and Veteran Referring Veterans. We met probably a year and a half ago or so for the first time, and I just love your energy and I love what you're doing, and that's why I wanted to bring you on and highlight you today. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Brenda. No, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. So it's great. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And so for the viewers, thanks for joining today. Please go out and connect with Justin and learn more about Veterans Referring Veterans. And if you are a veteran, or if you are a currently serving military that has a job, or not a job, has a business on the side, or maybe you're the spouse and you have a side business while your husband is still in or your wife is still in, we would love to chat with you and potentially have you on my Military Mondays. So if you'd like to stay connected to me, go to militarymondays.info. That's militarymondays.info. That way I can keep you abreast of past shows and upcoming shows. And of course, go get connected with me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I would love to get to know you and see how we can help you to grow in your business. So with that, everyone, thanks for joining in. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.